If you have just discovered the potential of the kettlebell in your life, more power to you. In this video, I'm going to show you 10 things you need to know about kettlebells. These 10 things are of theoretical as well as of practical nature, and they're going to make working out with these kettlebells a lot easier. My goal essentially is to give you the red pill of kettlebell training, because depending on the source you're listening to, it might be that the perspective on kettlebells might be a little bit warped. Grüezi miteinander, Gregory von Lebe Stark here. Before we get started, I have a gift for you. 30 days filled with kettlebell workouts for free. Check the first link in the description. So let's get started with number one, the specs of the kettlebell and what they're called. This is the bell, this is the base, this is the hollow core. Hollow core competition kettlebells are awesome to work with. They have an awesome flow. That's why we call these super flow kettlebells. And by the way, these are our own. Then we have the handle. We have the lower corner and the upper corner, depending on your perspective. We have the horns and the kettlebell window. You want to know these names because it makes learning the tool and the exercises much easier. Number two, there's 4 specific kettlebell styles. But before I want to mention the styles, I want to make one thing very clear. The more I learn about kettlebells, the more I abandon the idea of there being styles even in the first place. I believe there's only intent. You either want to go high tension, build strength and muscle, or high volume, build strength, endurance, and endurance per se. But for the sake of it, and since these styles are so widely represented in the kettlebell sphere, I want to talk about them. Number one is kettlebell sport. As the name implies, it is a sport where you do 3 exercises, either the jerk, the long cycle, or the snatch. You have a given time frame of 10 minutes, and then you have to do as many reps as possible in these 10 minutes. And because of the rules, the time frame, the exercises, and the amount of reps that you want to achieve, there is a specific idea of moving and training with the kettlebell, especially with these 3 exercises that come from the barbell world, from the weightlifting world, so to speak. And the idea is to move as efficiently as possible. Style number 2 is hard style. This is a renaissance that happened in the 2000s. It comes from Pavel Tsatsouline, who came up with a different idea of how to train with kettlebells. They use exercises that the kettlebell sport guys don't do, for example, and they also use it in a different way. Then we have style number 3, which I call myself part of, and that is a hybrid. A person who uses hard style exercises as well as sport exercises. But I don't do hard style for the sake of it, nor do I do sport for the sake of it. What I want to do as a hybrid is combine the best of both worlds. And then we have style number 4, which is almost recognized today in the kettlebell sphere as a brand new style, and that is flows. This is where you want to move with the kettlebell in a way that is not traditional. Most of the time it's a little bit lighter weight, and sometimes it involves juggling. Number 3, the kettlebell is a strength endurance tool. Yes, you can build muscle with it. Yes, you can build strength with it. But the idea and the USP, the unique selling point of the kettlebell, is its strength endurance building capability. With this statement, my goal is not to limit the kettlebell or you as a practitioner. Like I mentioned, I'm a hybrid, so I use the kettlebell in its various forms in different ways. However, when it comes to the USP, the reason why you want to buy a kettlebell or why it is so fun is the ballistic element. For example, I can do a deadlift. I can do a press. And that's awesome. But you can also do a deadlift and a press with a dumbbell or a barbell. But this, swinging, or the ballistics for that matter, is the unique characteristic that the kettlebell can provide you with. Number 4, breathing is one of the most important parts of kettlebell training. And briefly speaking, I believe there are 3 ways that you can breathe with the kettlebell. Once you get started, the first time you use it, you will engage into natural breathing because your brain will be occupied with learning the movement, and then you cannot really focus on proper breathing. So in that moment, you just breathe naturally, even if it might be wrong to a certain extent. The next way of breathing is recuperation or regeneration. This is where you just want to catch your breath, or you can use fractional breathing like this, breathing in 3 times to the nose and then breathing out, or just taking deep breaths into the nose and then breathing out, because this supplies your body with more oxygen. And then we have breathing method number 3. I coined it HERB, hyperrhythmic breathing. Hyperrhythmic breathing is a combination of nasal breathing, the Valsalva maneuver, and forceful exhalation. It also includes a rhythmic element where your breathing pattern wants to follow the execution of the exercise. It's best demonstrated with a clean and press. Listen. Eric Doyle, a kettlebell coach from Long Beach, California, said something that stuck with me. He says, when you're training with kettlebells, it's supposed to be a symphony of breathing, especially if there are many or more kettlebell practitioners in the same room. With number 5, it gets a little bit more practical, and that is grip. There are different ways how you can grab the kettlebell depending on the exercise. Grip number 1 is a thumb grip. I coined it that way because you insert both of your thumbs inside the window of the kettlebell and your fingers grab the belly or the bell itself. I hope you remember the specs of the kettlebell that we talked about earlier, because now you understand what I mean. Watch. 1, 2, 3. With this position, I'm able to press the kettlebell overhead, which is one of the fundamental exercises that we teach beginners once they start pressing with kettlebells. Grip number 2 is the finger grip. We use this type of grip for ballistic exercises. I don't want to hold it like this in a crush grip unless I want my palms to look like hamburger meat. This is how I grab it. My pinky connects with the lower corner, my fingers wrap around the handle, and then my thumbs either is locking the grip or it's on the handle itself. But here's what you can see. The palm does not connect with the handle. I want to keep it as loose as possible. As soon as you start working with heavier weights, your finger grip will probably take some collateral damage. Yet, while there might be a need for you to grab the kettlebell a little bit more with your palm because you don't want the weight to slip outside your hands, you still don't want to crush grip it, because heavier weights have an even stronger tendency to lacerate your palm skin. Grip number 3 is the hook grip. You are inserting your hand inside the window of the kettlebell. Your forearm bone connects with the lower horn, and your web space, this thing right here, connects with the upper corner. You keep the kettlebell close to your body, and this is one of the major points that you have to learn in kettlebell training, because you need this type of grip in the clean, in the snatch, in the jerk, in so many exercises that are specific to kettlebell training. Grip number 4 is the goblet grip. While you grab the kettlebell by the bell itself, the handle points towards the floor. This is great for squatting or for lunging. Number 6 is wrist orientation in the ballistics. We're going to talk about the ballistics in a few seconds. And when you swing a kettlebell, for example, you can use both hands or one hand. And one hand is preferred if you want to transition into other exercises like the clean and the snatch. Now, when you do swing, clean, or snatch, you can use a front hand like this, where the thumb is pointing upwards, or a back hand, where the thumb is pointing towards your hip in the backswing. Number 7 is safety measures. There are 10 of them, but I'm only going to give you the 4 most important ones. Number 1 is hands-free. When you work with the kettlebell, do not have anything on your wrist or your fingers. No rings, no wristbands, no watches. Number 2 is flat feet. When you train with kettlebells, make sure you don't have these cushioned sneakers, but either train barefoot or have shoes that allow you to have a proper connection directly to the floor. Number 3 is space needs. When you work with different types of kettlebells, make sure they are spread evenly throughout the room, because this happens quite often. I'm tripping over the kettlebell because I'm walking backwards and I don't see it laying around. And number 4, hips lead. Understand how to pick up kettlebells. Understand how to maneuver them from one place to the other, and comprehend that in many exercises, your arms are just tethers and your hips do most of the job. Number 8, memorize the 7 grinds. These are exercises that can build muscle, build strength, don't include a ballistic element, but still give you a lot of bang for your buck. Number 1 is the deadlift. Number 2 is the row. Number 3 is the goblet squat. Number 4 is the reverse lunge. Number 5 is the strict press. Number 6 is the windmill. And number 7 is the almighty Turkish get up. Number 9, memorize the 3 ballistics, the USP of the kettlebell, and the reason why you might want to buy one. Number 1 is the swing, which can be done in many ways. Number 2 is the clean and jerk. And number 3, the snatch. Now, before you type into the comments, I wish you would have described the different muscle groups that are involved with the exercises. Kettlebells train, in 90% of the cases, your full body. And number 10, weight classes. Which weights do even exist when it comes to kettlebell training? And which are perfect for beginner females or beginner males? And which weights are perfect for people who have already got accustomed to proper kettlebell training? Hello, can you still see me? Here we go. 8 kg, 12 kg. Well, let's see if I can pick them up with one arm, huh? 16 kg, 20 kg. Oh, that's a great exercise, actually. 24 kg, 28 kg, and 32 kg. And these are the monsters. 40, 44, 48, and 64. Female beginners, you want to start with an 8 kg kettlebell. Male beginners, you want to start with a 12 kg. Women, if you're already advanced and you consider yourself a solid kettlebell practitioner, 12 up to 16 kg will become your evergreen weights. Men, if you consider yourself kettlebell ninjas, your evergreen weights will be 20 up to 28 kg. What are evergreen weights, you might be asking? Evergreen weights are weights that you can use throughout your whole lifetime if you have become an expert in kettlebell training. So here's the next thing that you have to do. Like the video, consider subscribing, share it with a friend, and if you made it this far, consider becoming a member of the House of Stock. Sign up for only $1. Exclusive workouts, exclusive content, exclusive live Zoom classes, accountability, motivation, everything wrapped into one awesome kettlebell program. So sign up right now, and I can't wait to see you on the other side of our program.